Whispers in the window are angry waves. Way ho, the sea of souls. Down to the mists as the ocean slaves. Way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Now drop the anchor and grab some grog. Way ho, the sea of souls. We'll make a new entry in the captain's log. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hey ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Oh, way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Sea of souls.
Hello, welcome everybody to Dungeons and Dragons. We are the Elder Brain, and we are playing the Sea of Souls campaign, ongoing campaign, taking place in the homebrew world of Eudora and the Tides of Chaos campaign setting, which I'm writing because why not? Taking on things and creativity when you have no time. It's a wonderful task. We play D&D because D&D is awesome and it's fun, and that's what we like to do. Thanks for joining us and tuning in. Hopefully this isn't your first episode, because it's episode 13. We made it.
But if it is your first episode, please don't leave.
Yeah, don't
let us discourage you. No.
Yeah, and don't.
You'll figure it out. It's no required reading.
Yeah, but required watching.
Yes.
Or please watch us.
Do
that sounds too desperate. If you like D&D and you like shenanigans and you like just entertainment in general,
shenanigans.
Yes.
That was a stretch even for you.
That was. But you know what? We're in a pandemic, so stretch away, because
I've got my shot.
Yeah, one down, one to go, right? That's
Oh yeah, shoot! I forgot to take my my COVID vaccine selfie. I guess it's not going to work properly.
Pfizer gang.
Yeah, it doesn't kick. It doesn't kick in until you take the selfie, right? Like the mask and the thing, and like, hey, I'm legit. Anyway, so we ramble a lot too because I think most D&D players do.
He's stalling.
No, I also hey man, ADHD brain. Okay, it just goes where it wants. I will use that as an excuse. So there. And also it's Monday. Why did we play on Mondays?
Yep.
I guess it's good because we get to entertain on Mondays, but it's also Monday, which is like the beginning of the week, and you got to make your brain work.
Mondays, am I right?
So,
Mondays. Also,
this
is
the
the way
part
to get over the end of weekend blahs.
This is the part where we say that we'll cut this in the VOD, right?
Yeah, I'll cut this in post.
I think that's the part this is where we say that.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
the lightsabers, right?
That's right. Yeah. But yes, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And hopefully you will enjoy what we have to offer as we just play some D&D and do some fantasy and entertainment and such as. So to recap where we have been, I'm not going to do the whole recap because 13 episodes. I kind of was doing that up to a certain extent. And then I think now you get to a point where so many episodes in, you're like, I'm not going to try and fit that all into one thing. That's just too much.
That'd be half the stream.
That would be half the stream. Yeah, just recapping what happened. But our adventurers are on the Isle of Sands, north of Porto de Arias, the port of Sands, a republic, a free republic, a pirate port, as some would call it, and have journeyed to Mount Firogasa, a volcano, which they have delved into in search of the ember spores, some interesting mushrooms that have some properties that are useful in rituals and magic and the like. And
not those kinds of mushrooms.
No, that we know of.
Whoa,
They've been sent to retrieve these mushrooms for a wizard, Jorund, back in Portrait Arius, so he can do some rituals to determine what is happening in the Sea of Souls, where the water has turned black and dark, and things are black and dark.
There are dead things in the water.
There are dead things in the water, and the water itself seems to carry ominous tellings and such. So, as the crew have went into this volcano and encountered some interesting creatures transformed by the environs here, including flaming scorpions, who both resist flame and are not on fire, but can cause fire. And they're big. And kobolds, because kobolds are often in mountains and in caves, and stumbling upon a rather large group of kobolds in here who seem to have been harvesting the mushrooms, making it really difficult to find them. The party made their way into a cavern where they encountered the creature known as Dragonscale, who, for all appearances, seems to be a dragon of sorts, even though dragons are supposedly extinct and have been dead, disappeared for the last 1,000 years. But this Dragonscale essentially made a bargain with the group that if they were to bring back the tail of and the stinger of one of these giant flame scorpions, that a trade could be made for the ember spores. And so, having retrieved said item, the group then turned around and proceeded to head back to meet with Dragonscale. And that is where we pick up tonight for episode 13, where nothing will go wrong.
Hey, don't say things like that.
Why not? People like ominous, right? You gotta like, that's
what could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong in Dungeons and Dragons?
At least it's not raining.
If it was, it probably wouldn't be water, so inside a volcano, so I guess that is good.
It would be highly acidic.
All right, so we picked up just as you had kind of entered back into the tunnels to make your way back to the large chamber where Dragonscale was in residence, with the throne that had been created, treasure piles all around, sort of a small throne room, as it were. So we'll pick up as you begin to navigate down the tunnels.
So, Dinar, you're going to be doing all the talking again, yeah?
Why on earth would I be the one doing the talking?
Well, I feel like
you remember our encounter last time, right? Where I didn't talk a whole lot?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
it's not fair to get Torg to do all the talking. I mean, he barely says a word as it is, and we're making him do all this chatter. His throat's going to get all sore and coarse.
But he did such a good job last time.
I mean, we're not
dead. I know this Dragonscale guy kind of took a shine to you, no pun intended, but...
Aha! Always intend your puns, Flick.
Indeed.
Perhaps we can both go.
Sure.
I mean, as long as one of you is willing to translate for us bozos, that'll be fine.
That could be arranged.
We will translate the important details.
Actually, maybe that's what we'll do. If one of you wants to do the actual talking and the other one wants to translate for us, because we still don't know anything that was spoken from the last thing other than what little bits and bobs we managed to get. So having a translator would be really good. So if you're not comfortable speaking to a dragon, Dinar, perhaps you could just whisper in our ears exactly what's going on between Torque and them while the real men go and talk.
I'm fine with that, yes.
Yeah. I mean, like, you're not really a man. I'm not really a man. I'm a goblin. What are you? You're a dragon guy, right? So, your insults mean nothing, Taylind. Let's roll. I've learned from Torque that sitting around and jibber jabber too much causes bad things to happen to us.
I assume Torque just has the tail like slung over his shoulder as he's going, just dragging it behind him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of get that.
So the parts that we needed were the tail and the what else was there?
I think it was just the tail.
Just the tail.
Okay.
The tail with the
with
fiery
the
stinger on it. Yeah.
That was
the item that is requested.
Well, fun fact: the stinger end of Scorpion's tail is called a telson.
Ooh.
Cool.
Education.
The more you know.
The more you know. And if you want Jack to telson you some more cool facts, then yeah, that was stretching too. But I'm gonna roll with it.
I'm trying to kind of turn this into like an edutainment show.
Edutainment. Yeah. Oh geez. Don't watch us for education. Entertainment only, please. We don't want to be responsible for making people the dumb.
And education is purely accidental.
Yeah.
Yes, it is accidental.
Oh man.
All right. So making your way back through the now somewhat familiar tunnels, you notice them to be slightly more empty. You get the feeling that there are kobolds around. You've kind of grown accustomed to, just that sense when you're being watched, and you know that they're there, but there seems to be an absence, a lack of the presence visibly. And when you had been sent back this direction by Dragonscale, the kobolds had kind of been manning kobolding?
Operating
in the tunnels, and had covered over the large pit trap, and kind of had been present just there as you kind of made your way back, and now as you turn around into these tunnels once more, they're just not around, and it's strange.
What do you think? Did he eat them all? Or are they all passing up to jump us and not give us the damn mushrooms after all this?
Anybody else extremely unnerved right now?
Oh, I'm waiting for the double cross. I just need to see what form it takes before I start whacking guys.
Orc is gonna just shift the tail so that he's now holding the end of it in both hands.
Ooh, nice. You do still hear that pulse that you determined to be not from Dragonscale himself, but seemingly coming from the volcano, the ground, possibly the large blue crystals that were located in Dragonscale's chamber. And other than that kind of ever-present sound of magma in the distance, as you move away from it, and again kind of do that switch back and move further in where it begins to get darker before you come to that light chamber again, that pulsing is kind of the only sound, as everything else is just very quiet. And eventually you even lose that sense of being watched.
We lose that sense of being watched, so like we're not being watched.
It's quiet.
What do you make of the pulsing blue crystal anyway, smart guys? I mean, fellow versed in the arcana, like, D, what do you think that big blue crystal thing is?
I mean, it's probably a massive source of energy, but that's hard to say without actually sitting down and casting my spell on it.
Yeah. I don't think old buddy boy Dragonscale is going to let us just sit and tinker with his magic crystal, eh?
I mean, he's not here.
Yeah, but it's in his room, eh? Right? Like it's we probably need to be like up there and poking it and stuff. That's what I'm saying.
I need to be within 30 feet of it.
Yeah. Well,
That's a respectable distance.
Well, I also...
Can Torque just make a perception check while they're discussing this?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Just head on a swivel.
You doing your periscope thing again?
Shift a bit here.
22.
22. There are no kobolds. Background shifting a bit here, but that's okay.
See, Taylind, the other thing is that I did not prepare that spell today, so I would need 10 minutes to ritually...
What a shock.
Look, do you want me to have the ability to detect magic, or do you want me to have the ability to deal damage? We're in the middle of a volcano with a bloody dragon at the end of it.
I mean, again, not actual dragon, but point taken.
Don't say that too loudly.
Does he understand common?
that we haven't tested yet. That would be fun to try.
Hey!
There we go.
Well, I mean, I meant like when we was in the room and stuff, right? Like yelling at him from out here, he's just gonna get ticked off regardless.
Do you like music?
I'm assuming we're still walking at this point.
Oh yeah, this is a walk and talk the whole time.
Yeah, I that's what I kind of got.
Torque is just gonna keep his eyes open for any sort of ambush. Just continue to try and stay on top of that.
Yeah, everything it is very silent. And again, even those your kind of natural senses where you're familiar with predator or prey kind of nearby. It's just quiet. The tunnels are empty. And as you close upon where the trap was in the one section before the false wall, that illusory wall is now gone as well. And so as you approach down that tunnel, you can see the sharp as it juts up sharply and just kind of looks like fresh ropes have been hung in that spot now. But you can see right through where that false wall was, and there's sort of a makeshift bridge has been put across the pit trap. And
I don't like any of this.
No kobolds around anywhere.
I don't know. I'd prefer a bridge than having to climb down in there again.
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's nice that they were courteous, but I'm also wondering what the deal is.
Maybe
I don't
it's
like the fact that it seems... See, here's what I'm thinking, Dinar, right? So these things live here. They've been here for a while, and they've all of a sudden decided to leave, which probably means they know something we don't.
Well, they haven't necessarily left. They're clearly up in the room ahead. Maybe this tail thing is like part of some ritual, so they're all gathering, waiting for it to return so that they can do the thing they want to do.
A society which has every single guard attend the ritual tends to be a society that does not survive.
Maybe we just slayed the final threat. Maybe there was only
You
two
don't
scorpions.
honestly believe that, do you?
I am just offering suggestions. Sometimes it's nice to not just assume the worst.
Oh, it's nice. And then when it happens...
Yeah.
I won't deny that it's nice to assume that the worst isn't always going to happen, but it's been my experience that as soon as you do that, guess what happens?
Yeah.
Expect the worst and you'll never be surprised.
Right.
Such a Jerry disposition, eh?
Oh, come on, Flick. You know I'm right.
Well, yes, but I still think I still want to kick that thing's face in, but I don't think all those little kobold buddies are going to let us. So next best thing is to, because it's really grinding my gears a little bit. I've been thinking about it more and more, because he's just a big bully, right? He's pushing them around. He's making the little guys do all the work and gather all the stuff for him, and he's just sitting up there on his high chair.
Mm-hmm.
It's really making me it's reminding me of the overseers back at the camp, and I wasn't too fond of them neither. So,
Orc is just going to keep looking around while they have this discussion out in the open, potentially an earshot.
Oh, my candor is intentional. Don't you worry, Torque.
Think of it this way, Torque. If the dragon gets offended by anything that we've said, that just proves that he's more, prideful and not
fragile. I think is the word you're looking
fragile. For. That's that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, Flick.
I just want to point out that you called him a dragon.
Didn't you see the air quotes? Come on now.
Dragon.
Torque's eye just twitches a little bit.
As you draw closer to the chamber, the blue light that had been given off by the crystals within, there's a little bit more of it now. You don't remember encountering it this far out from the chamber. It seems to either have grown in strength or there's more of it. But the light is much more blue than orange than it was before. And as you kind of make your way up that steep incline, where that wall, just beyond that wall that they'd kind of set up, that makeshift wall, and you can see on this side of the wall now that there is a small cairn with some crystals embedded on the top, and sort of what they'd used to light up the chamber on the inside with that blue light as well. It seems that they'd harvest some of those crystals and then kind of place them around, and they seem to be giving off light. And there's a little bit of that glowing and just very, very soft, comfortable pulse on this side. The door, for lack of a better term, the big, large piece of wood that they'd kind of put in front of this makeshift opening is off to the side, and the doorway is just open. And in the chamber beyond, again, there is still that warm orange glow from the magma within. But the heat is even less oppressive now. It's kind of not quite temperate, but it's comfortable. It's not cool, but it's not hot either. It's just lava room temperature. Room temperature.
Is this different from, because before it was always cooler than it had any right to be? Is this hotter or colder than it was before?
It's even more comfortable.
Okay.
Then yeah. So it had already been kind of cooled to a certain extent, and it seems to be even more so now. And the light, you can see there is definitely more of that blue glow. It has increased.
But they've also they basically used some of it as a light source outside of the
yeah. And they had done that on the inside as well. They'd kind of built these little lampposts for lack of a better term, like cairns of rocks that they just kind of built up and embedded some of these, looks like shards from larger crystals on them, and kind of set around, and they gave off this very kind of soft bluish glow. But that blue glow seems to have intensified, and so there's more blue than orange now. It's you're in a cave where there's like magma right up ahead, but it's mostly blue and cool and very strange.
These torches, lampposts, things, are there loose shards of the blue crystal?
I can give you an investigation check.
Sure.
Well, I'm right there with you if that offers him advantage, because I'm definitely
sure
beelining there as well.
Yep.
So investigation?
Yeah.
13 and a 14. So I'll take the 14 plus 4, 18.
18. Okay. Yeah, they are fairly loose. It's rather than being kind of like a chunk of crystal, it looks like they've sort of they've made the rocks so there's kind of a little bit of a bowl at the top, or a little bit of a spot where they've kind of just placed a number of shards inside, and the shards themselves, that they vary in size. Most of them are they look to be kind of long crystals, almost like they've been broken off, and they're very sharp. They look very, very sharp and jagged at inspection, but it does look as though you probably could pick them up. They're not attached to anything. They're not set in anything. They're more just kind of placed in this little divot or whatever in the top of the rocks.
So Dinar is going to make eyes with the rest of the group and reach his hand towards grabbing one. Does anybody react in a negative way?
In a negative way, no. Flick's going to dart in first. Like, gimme.
This was not... Torque isn't going to like make a move to stop them, but he will say, taking those was not part of the arrangement we made.
I will have already grabbed one at this point. I'm sort of flicking up in the air and tossing it into my other hand. Like, souvenir, that's all.
Oh my god.
As far as Taylind's concerned, Dinar and Flick are the experts on magical things. So if they're walking up and touching them, I'm going to just assume they know what they're doing.
Look, Torque, I know that we didn't come here for this, but this defies understanding and expectation. So,
and you know, I can't see in the dark, so that's nice.
Yeah, but you know,
we already know for a fact that Dragonscale does not want these things taken from his cave.
Do we know that?
Oh, I don't remember. Did he say that?
I think you could infer.
Sure. He said these crystals were one of the reasons that adventurers keep trespassing in his volcano.
Yeah.
Well, I would argue that perhaps he doesn't leave them out for the taking.
So, Flick, what I'm hearing is we grab them on the way out.
That's assuming we're not running through this cavern on our way out.
Flick's a spry guy. He can grab one on the way out. Use that whip to good...
Well, let me just get a good look at it. I want to make sure they're worth grabbing. Do I notice any difference in temperature on the crystal itself? Like, is it absorbing heat? Is that
so? As you pick up the crystal, it has no temperature to it. It's not. There's no warmth. There's no
room temperature.
Cold. It's just it doesn't really. It's very light. It does feel. You can almost kind of feel like fragments on it that are rough. And this does appear to be just something that's kind of broken off. It's not smooth. So it doesn't have that kind of like gem-like quality to it. It is very rough.
I totally should have been wearing gloves for this.
the ambient glow, like when you remove the crystal, it seems the one shard on its own really doesn't give off much. But when they're they put more together, and it seems to kind of increase. And even as you remove one of the shards, the overall kind of ambient glow from the pile diminishes ever so slightly. So they seem to flourish when in close proximity to one another, and as you kind of pull it away, it not a lot, but just noticeably enough that it does dim ever so slightly.
Experiment here, darker. Brighter, darker, bright. See,
but Flick, do me a favor. You got a bag or a pouch you could put that thing in for a moment.
It's already gone.
Okay. Now that he has stowed it on his person, is he glowing blue? Is there anything that would give evidence to the fact that he has that in his pocket?
Not that you can see visibly. No.
Okay.
We are inviting forces we should not be trifling with.
But I want to trifle with him. That's the real thing. But you're right. We don't necessarily want to egg him on if he's just going to hand over the goods. Little guy, you make a good point. Against my better judgment, you will be my Jiminy Cricket today. I will put the crystal back in the pile, unceremoniously, just sort of flick it back in. All right.
You say against your better judgment, you will put the thing back instead of stealing it? Is that that okay?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's Fleck, right? So I mean,
again,
that makes sense.
On the way out,
the goblin sees a shiny rock.
Absolutely. I mean, they just put it's like a candy dish, right?
These don't quite clickety clack, but they do clinkety clink a bit. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I'm
shiny.
Yeah.
Magic. I got to look at my book about magic rocks, so it's a thing.
For sure. You hear inside there is that familiar kind of low, raspy, rumbling voice, or just that presence, and it just sounds to be kind of this heavy breathing, just a. It does sound like Dragonscale is present, but there still are no kobolds.
You totally ate them all. This is fantastic.
Oh, we could probably take him now. He's
Orc is
all bloated and fat.
just gonna hold up the tail with both arms and just like, as promised.
Yeah, let's go. Let's make the presentation. If we can get out of here with minimal bloodshed on our part, all the better.
Do a power slide in. Make it showy. There's the conquering heroes.
So as you enter in beyond the wall, it is quite cool in here again, and
because we're here.
Very cool.
The magma almost seems to have decreased in its brightness in here, and not just its heat. It's there's a little bit of a dimming to it. So even as the blue light from these crystals has increased, the magma flow deep down has kind of lost some of its glow, and the light from it seems to be almost suppressed by the light from the crystal, where you can kind of see where the more of the upper half of the cavern above the magma is definitely more blue, and then as you can kind of see like lower down to where the actual magma is, far below the precipice you're on, there is that orange kind of just hangs out down there. So there seems to be some connection going on between the two. But as you step in, you see the figure of Dragonscale, eyes closed, just open slowly as you walk in. Good. You're back.
Just holds up the tail, just
What language is he speaking?
as promised.
He's speaking Draconic.
Okay.
Sorry, did we? I don't remember if we talked about whether or not kobolds are cold-blooded.
I don't remember if we had that conversation or not. Me as Craig? I don't know. Are they?
I don't think it ever came up, but
No.
I am wondering now because it seems odd to me that a creature that seems to be made of molten rock and scales would require it to be so cool here. At first, I was thinking it was for the kobolds, but they're not here and it's cooler. And if they're cold-blooded, they actually would prefer it to be warmer.
Yeah.
I'm doing some. I got some weird things going in my brain.
I'm wondering, Craig, is there like steam coming off of Dragonscale or...
You can give me a perception check.
Sure.
Is the air slightly wavy around him?
Ugh. It's not going to be good. I rolled an 8 plus my perception of 1 for 9.
Ooh.
Doesn't look like it.
And I will just do a quick survey of the room just to make sure there isn't an ambush about to jump out at us.
Sure. The figure kind of like cracks its neck a little bit. And...
Ooh, yeah, no. I'm still thinking about the...
I'm picking up on Flick's thing. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to also look around a bit because I'm a little more perceptive. 14.
14, okay. Yeah, you don't see anyone else around or anything. It's just appears to be Dragonscale. And he kind of looks at you and just kind of gives a little bit of emotion with the head. Please, come. Bring the trophy. I have sent the others away for now. They are not needed.
Orc will start walking it over if there are no objections.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you better have your personal escort join you there, Mr. Little Guy. And I will scamper along with you. happily. Tra-la, tra-la.
Tell me, how did the battle fare?
Mercifully brief and with minimal casualties.
Tell him it was a bit of a snore. It was sleeping through the whole thing. No comedy? Ah, you're killing me, Torque.
Just lays the tail down.
You are rather proficient at killing these things.
I have had a lot of practice in killing things.
The scorpions have been a bane to our presence here, proven difficult to kill for many of our kobolds. You have done us a service in
Ask
saying
him where the kobolds are now. I'll say, stage whisper, and I'm gonna keep an eye on Dragonscale and see if he reacts to me talking in common. If I can pick up that he has understood what I said.
You mean insight check?
All right, that's what I was shooting.
Or just palms his entire face.
16 insight.
He looks at you, like there's definitely, like, as you start speaking, there's this, he kind of looks in your direction, and you get the idea that he probably understands you.
All right. So the fact that, yes, I'm assuming the Torque is not one-for-one relaying everything that's being said. So I will, I'll keep needling you as needed. But okay, noted.
As you said, we've done you a service, and now we hope to receive your end of the bargain as well.
Of course. I have to admit that not all were in favor of letting you take the ember spores. Thankfully, they don't get a say in it.
Is that why they are not allowed to participate in this meeting?
No. I sent them. I wish to discuss something else with you. You've noticed these crystals here, no doubt.
They are eye-catching.
What crystals? Yes. I didn't see no crystals.
I believe that the changes to these creatures and many others are caused by these. It changes things in strange ways down here. The effect in here, closest to them, offers coolness. Elsewhere, things are hotter than they should be. Things don't behave the way they ought to.
Like super familiar with that.
There is magic permeating the air. You can almost smell it. What do you think?
I think I have seen many strange things in my travels, and many more when I was no longer traveling. I know not what purpose these crystals hold or what reason they have for being here, beyond just the fact that the gods of this world seem to work in mysterious ways.
Not of the gods, these things are. Bright scales. Why do you not join us? Bring a friend. Come.
Torque just looks over at Dinar.
Dinar's gonna turn to face Taylind. He wants us both to go over there.
Neat.
Yeah, that kind of locks us on the other side.
What's he been saying?
He wishes to discuss the crystals.
Oh,
Oh, hey. We can take those off your hand real cheap.
like shut up.
In
Yeah.
common, he replies,
They would do no good to you outside of the mountain.
Got it.
When you picked it up, did it not immediately begin to lose some of its power? My small friend.
I don't know, Flick. Did it?
I know it was a little darker, a little brighter, a little darker, a little brighter. Meh. Neat trick.
We
Well,
have experimented with this. Many kobolds have taken shards, and as soon as they left the confines of Firogasa, the crystals become innate. Useless.
Hmm.
I mean, he's a big dragon, but do we believe that?
give me an insight check.
All right. 11 plus 1 for 12.
Seems legit. Makes sense with what you saw from Flick, and it like no reason that wouldn't make sense, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dragons don't lie.
Well, this one's apparently not a dragon, according to some of my party, so.
I think
Dinar will
so,
start making his way over.
so. Mr. Scale here. I think your problem is you need to get all the crystal out at once. If you keep it all together, then it'll still work. That's my running theory.
Tell me, how do you remove crystals that are embedded within the volcano itself?
Well, that's what all your little workers are for, isn't it? They like digging. Get them to start digging.
No. They're not slaves.
Could have fooled me.
Arm over the face.
And what makes you think they are slaves here, Master Goblin?
There might not be shackles around their ankles, but they are definitely in service to you. And if you wasn't here, they wouldn't be doing those same things. You don't feel like a leader as much as a big ass bully. That's kind of the shtick of it.
Torque is going to start scanning for escape routes.
You actually hear a deep chuckle, and you see the shoulders actually kind of shaking up and down. Yeah.
Who's all dude?
I'm not standing on a grate, am I?
The kobolds may come and go as they please. I do not bind them here. I do not force them to be here. They are here because they choose to be. Because they believe what I believe. That we can make something different. They can find something here that has eluded them. We seek to establish, I don't know, a nation, call it what you will, but
A place to call your own? Yeah?
more or less.
All right. I want to insight check that whole notion. Just to,
Sure. Sure.
if I'm buying what he's selling here. 22. If he's on the up and up,
There's
there's a sincerity to him.
there's a sincerity, and you can hear there's an element of pain in what he's saying, that there's the sincerity is born from difficult experience, that this is something
Okay, that is
very,
definitely
very valuable to him.
that is what Flick will attach to for sure.
Mhm.
He recognizes that. He's like, I stand corrected. You and me, we might not be so different after all. So you
Just
want to make a place for you and your gang? That's cool. Can we make this deal? Can we get the friggin' mushrooms so we can get out of your hair then?
Of course, you may take them and leave. I'd like to ask you something, though. What was your thought when you first saw the kobolds in here? What did you think? How did you react? What went through your head upon seeing them? What are they to you?
Personally, natural enemies.
Target rich environment.
Okay, Gregor.
Orc is just gonna try and give Flick a look, as if like just choose your words carefully,
Mhm.
like just wide eye, just
Yeah, Taylind has wisely decided to shut up.
That's
Listen.
possible.
I know that in the past, goblins and kobolds, we step on each other's toes a hell of a lot because we all breed like hell and we like taking over small nooks and crannies. And we get into each other's business a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna be super. You've been super honest with me. I'll be super honest with you. I was looking to push them out because I didn't think they belonged here. But your words have swayed me, Mr. Scale, and I think this is a good spot for you guys to carve out your own niche. I don't think anyone else is going to bother coming down here. So, yeah, this is your spot.
Unless
It's
the
yours.
wizard sends more people.
Rest
Yeah.
of you.
And we can spread the word that this is your spot.
Please tell me honestly. What did you think when you encountered them here?
Well, there was a certain amount of surprise, as we had not been informed of their inhabitation here, as well as a mixture of, are we the ones invading? But at the same time, we did not engage in hostilities first, I would like to point out.
I'm aware.
So once it was established that we were having to do self-defense and we couldn't exactly leave here without forfeiting our goals, things went the way they did. That being said, I am, of course, always a friend to the working man. And the kobold is no different than anyone else in my eye when it comes to that.
Indeed. If you were to find a lone kobold by themselves in your presence here and now, what would you do?
Well, that would depend on the situation, but one thing that comes to mind is give them a flute, teach them how to play 2 notes, and then walk on.
I think this is a trick question.
Is it?
If I were to see a kobold by itself, I would wonder how many there are around that I cannot see.
You are wise, Turtle. Supposing there were no others nearby, though, and I assure you right now there are not. Would you regard that kobold with hostility? With openness?
If I am to be completely honest, Your Eminence, I would probably not regard it at all.
That is true. They're fairly short, a little below the eye line for you.
Perhaps now you can all understand something of what I hope to do for them here. For them not to be seen as the enemy, if they are seen at all, but to be given a chance to be regarded as belonging, same as anyone else. Would you all say that is fair?
Hey man, if you're looking to rehabilitate the image of the kobolds, more power to you. I look forward to your refuge flourishing and word of it spreading to the four corners of the earth. In the meantime, people outside of this room might not be so open-minded about the whole affair. Just so you're fully informed here.
Indeed.
No, I mean, while our response is, I would say, the average for any adventuring party, I have come across a band of kobolds in my travels on the seas that was quite civilized. Almost engineers in a way. They had taken shipwrecks and put some little huts and stuff together, like created a little trade route. They were quite civilized. I think it's possible that the world might be ready for kobolds to be a little bit more not the little guy. Give him a little bit of credit.
You see Dragonscale's head like full on like dog tilt. And the eyes actually like go wide.
You speak truly.
I do.
Kobolds in the open. Free.
Kobolds in the open. Yeah. We were on the seas, and we came across like this whole. It was like a ship with kobolds on it, and you know we all know, and you know as well, that they're quite resourceful little creatures, but you know nobody thinks of them as engineers. Well,
Yeah,
these
no
kobolds.
idea.
They must have been gifted intellect by the gods, because what we came across, I mean, until seeing this, I would say to this day, you know, still in awe of the ingenuity. We came across what we thought was this like, floating wreckage near a small pocket of islands. We took a few of our rescue boats over, but as we got closer, we realized this wasn't wreckage. Well, it was, but as I mentioned, it had been repurposed.
Clever.
And so these little guys, they had strapped together 3 small boats across and 2 deep, and somehow lifted 3 more above them. So they had like a little bit of shade, suspended by tree trunks so that they had cover from the rain. There was decking nailed with thorns, and makeshift mast constructed out of like an old man's walking stick and some poor soul's underpants, but you know, they had cannons on either side constructed out of what appeared to be small kegs and a couple of chairs broken down as supports. And on top of the elevated ships, there was a captain, like at the helm. This kobold was shockingly well dressed. Actually, Taylind, you might have liked what he was wearing. They must have come across some downship themselves and made use of all the materials that they'd found. And this captain's jacket was patchwork, stripped pieces of what was obviously a much larger coat. And he wore a tiny little hat and sword on his belt. And, you know, for most of us, it would be like a letter opener, but for him, it looked like a sword. we weren't able to communicate much, but they were rather friendly. Looking beyond their ship, we could see that they had a small village set up, like a trade port, as I mentioned. Small huts, fires, a tanning station, various types of goods that they were seemingly selling on the open sea. We made some minor trades, trinkets mostly, and offered up some items that may be, useful to them: a compass, a tinderbox, a small dagger I carry for emergencies, and got to walk away with. And Dinar at this point kind of reaches under his bracer and pulls out a little seashell bracelet that he's got. Got this off of them and went on our way. And as we left, their ship escorted us out of the rocky waters as we made our way. Never in all my years did I imagine that I would see a group of civilized kobold, but that day we did. Now, here you are talking about starting another one. I'm a believer.
Large scaled hand reaches up, turns over.
May I see it?
The bracelet?
Yes.
Sure. Dinar will unclasp it and hand it over.
As you put it in the claw, you see Dragonscale kind of brings it close for a second and looks at it.
So you're not the first. Good.
There's a visible shimmer in the air, kind of pulsing out. And for a moment, it kind of hurts your eyes to look at this creature as the magma in the joints, the red glows brighter and then subsides, and the figure shrinks and shrinks. And standing before you is no longer a dragon, but a kobold. Albeit a very interesting looking one. Much more prominent scales. Almost dragonborn in appearance. Eyes with a deep red glow within. Definitely not like any other kobold you've seen. But still holding the shell necklace or the bracelet in his palm, he kind of looks at it.
I've been wearing that form for so long, I forgot what my own really feels like.
Holy hell!
Sorry. Yeah, I'm not a dragon.
Called it.
Yeah, Taylind kind of figured, and I was suspicious, seeing as how dragons are not around anymore, but I was hoping.
It's a little trick that serves its purpose. I'm Kalia. Here.
Kalia.
Yeah.
Hard to rhyme that with some things.
Yeah.
I think it would be more appropriate if this does not make it into your song.
Flick, was it?
It's me.
Our stories are kind of similar in some ways.
I felt the connection even with you in the other shape. I knew there was. I knew you were speaking truth. I could tell.
Hey, Bright Scales, you ever seen anything like me?
No. I was not aware that kobolds had the ability to shift their shape.
Don't worry, he's not aware of many things.
Well, we don't. Well, most don't. To tell you the truth, I'm not even really sure if I am a kobold. I mean, I guess I kind of am, but I mean, look at me. I'm kind of like a mini you. Like a dragonborn ling. Dragonling? I don't even know, man.
How old are you?
Oh geez, I lost count.
That's pretty old then.
Well, see, that's part of it too. 200. I lost count at 200. I don't know what I am, but I want to do what I can for kobolds. You know, I've lived long enough to see them just treated like me, really. Oh geez, cry flames now. Stupid. This is why I don't take this form. Easier to be intimidating and tough when you're got magma for blood and dragon wings and.
If I may interject.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Kalia, you may not know what you are, but I know what you are.
Seriously?
They're Kalia.
You are a wise leader for a downtrodden people. And you are a finer captain than most people could hope for.
This is a cave, not a ship, but
Yeah, but we're all seafaring adventurers, so that's our lingo.
No, I get it.
They have mixed the metaphor a little bit.
It's all right. I get it. Thank you. Would you do me a favor? Can you, for now, I don't know how, but maybe with this help with this wizard friend of yours, but I don't really want people knowing about us just yet.
Rest assured, we will not divulge any of what you have shared with us to the outside world. Oh, sorry, Taylind. Right?
Just start scribbling out a whole bunch of things. All right. This will make a great story, though.
Well, hey, one day I hope that, you know, that weird like inland sea that's like right outside the volcano, the lake that's like not a lake. Well, I kind of have this idea of like building a little like canal kind of thing, making a little like trading port that's like kobold run. Now at Brightscale, you just mentioned that that's already been done. I mean, that kind of gives me hope that we can actually pull this off. Man, I thought I was going out on a limb, but crap, if they can do that, then we can do it. That's cool.
I mean, it's certainly possible. Maybe not a great location. That town down there is full of pirates. Not pirates. It's full of
free-thinking peoples.
Yeah, that's probably a nicer way to say what I said.
Well, that's kind of partly why I picked this place too. I mean, aside from the crazy magic crystals here, which are awesome and totally weird, but really cool. And the people of Porto Arias are probably more likely to start trading with us than some others would.
That's true, actually.
It helps us to get a little bit more established, you know?
Yeah, they don't care where the crap comes from. They just care that you got it, right?
Pretty much. So, any chance I can convince you guys to, like, stick around for, I don't know, ever and help kill those stupid scorpions?
Unfortunately, we have prior obligations.
Pressing matters to attend to, yes.
Yeah.
However, I see no issue with checking in on occasion when need be.
I mean, if we see any on our way out, we'll be sure to stab them, but, you know.
We wouldn't want our presence here to undermine your authority, of course.
You can keep that tail, by the way. I don't need it. I just want to know I could trust you guys. I think I can. Oh, by the way, that big me. It may not be a dragon, but I can hurt people if I need to.
So you can actually deal damage in that form.
I was gonna ask if it was like a you changing into that thing, or is it more just an image of that thing? But you actually like change into that crap. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. Don't ask me how. It's been a lifetime trying to figure that crap out. I don't really know. First time it happened was by accident. My people, they I mean, I was already weird, born like this with glowing eyes and weird crap, and they're like, I don't know, thought I was cursed or something like that, bad egg, that kind of thing. And well, I was kind of a skinny runt too. I was getting picked on, and all of a sudden, bam! I just started growing into this crazy friggin' magma thing, and freaked out and tried to kill me, and I ran. Scared the hell out of me. I didn't know. I don't know what I was.
Well, there's all kinds of weird things in this wide world of ours. So we should we can have those mushroom thingies then, right?
Oh yeah. I think they're in.
He walks over to where there's baskets and barrels and all kinds of stuff, and pulls the top off of one barrel.
How much do you need of it?
Well, I mean,
anybody write that down?
Well, no, we only need so much of it, but I'm wondering if we should bring more than he asked us to.
Want a keg?
That sounds fantastic. Kegs are great.
You did mention that you have no use for it yourself. Is that correct?
Well, other than future trade, obviously. You know what? We just kind of harvested on a whim that it'd be something we could trade down the road, like a lot of stuff we got here.
If it were me, I would suggest that it might be better for us to take all of it off your hands to reduce the number of people who would be coming here looking for it until you have a chance to fully set up.
No.
A keg will suffice.
Yeah. I'm not giving all of you. You can you can take keg.
A keg
trying to start a business, establishment here. I'm not going to give away things for free. Jeez.
Hey, we did a job for you. We should be getting paid for it.
We are getting paid for it.
You did. No. I mean, I could have killed the dumb things, but.
Yes, but you didn't. You hired us to do it instead. That's how business transactions work.
And then
he's just gonna
spores.
By just the back of the collar of Taylor's shirt, just start dragging him away. The keg over his shoulder, just.
All right.
Not the shirt. Not the shirt.
Just yeah. You uphold your end, and look for if you see a little outpost on the western side of Isle of Sands. That'll be us. Come find us and do some trade.
I assume we'll have a first customer's discount.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to be willing to set up every shop. That's up to the merchants themselves.
I think we'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll get the mark of Mr. Scale here or whatever, and we'll make sure that they know that we know. Yeah.
Cool.
We're friends, right?
Yeah. Friends of the founder.
Look, I know that you guys have run your own tests on these crystals, but would you mind if we grabbed a couple shards on our way out? Well, you know some people who might be able to tell us a little bit more about them on the outside.
Sure. I mean, like I said, they just grow and eat as soon as they leave this place. As far as I can tell, as soon as they're away from, I don't know, wherever they grow, that they just become rocks.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then we've got rocks. But maybe we can learn something about them. Maybe it could help
Like,
you.
you could probably like tell somebody that they're like super magical, awesome things, and like, you know,
Well, I'll probably
Wink,
take it
wink.
to somebody discreetly and ask them to analyze it without giving them too much information.
no, I mean, like, you know, who's ever seen anything like that? You'd be like, hey, check out this super cool, magic, awesome rock. It glows and stuff. And they'd be like, wow, is that, yeah, it's only like 500 gold. And then, you know, what do they know?
Or we can make some really fancy wind chimes. We'll figure it out. Anyway,
Something like that,
Ooh.
yeah.
Oh, I gotta set some of those up the front of the cave. That's a good idea.
Nice
ideas.
little warning system.
Sounds like ghosts and stuff. Hey, there we go. Who wants to enter a haunted volcano, am I right?
You're not wrong.
Cool. All right, well, there's your spores. Take care, and maybe see you down the road. Yeah, just
Yeah.
maybe don't come back in this way, you know, in the volcano.
Oh, believe us, we have no intention of ever coming back to this volcano.
Cool. I know that you got attacked first, and I mean, what can I say? Our kind are kind of skittery, you know,
Hey, no harm done.
With good cause.
itchy fingers, and like we see people, and it's shoot. That's kind of our thing. So, you know, kind of have to survive, you know. So
Perfectly understandable.
I don't think I knew anything personally anyway, so I'm not crying too much about it. I mean, sad. Yeah, we lost the numbers, so oh Jesus, I sound like a jerk now.
How many of you are there here?
So yeah, just be careful on your way out, and you know,
Okay.
we'll see you next time. Yeah.
We'll keep that in mind.
From that totem light post thing, Dinar would like to grab 5 shards of the crystals if possible.
Okay. I'd say for you, especially, yeah, easy enough. Like your scaled hands, you can just kind of grab them. You're not worried too much about prolonged exposure, cutting anything. Flick, when you picked up 1, it was like, yeah, okay, not that big a deal, but
You picked up 5 blades in your hands. That'd be different.
yeah, pretty much. It's like you can carry 1 X-Acto blade knife. Can you carry multiple? All right.
I guess we'll head out.
Yeah, I guess we're trucking.
It's
Okay.
almost a full day's journey out of here, right?
Does take a while.
Definitely a bit, yeah.
As
Well, this has been an adventure, fellas.
I mean, literally.
Orc will just sort of grunt in agreement. He's dragging the tail with him just because he doesn't know what else to do with it. He's
You
gonna take
taking
it.
that with you? You could just set it down.
I'm sure we'll find some use for it.
We are in a giant incinerator. You could just chuck it down a lava vent and be done with it.
I worked very hard to kill this thing. I think it's only fitting.
I agree.
Gonna
you
be his
worked
hat, right? Like,
Like those old raccoon pelts, but
It might be worth
instead of
something
scale,
back
it's the
in
stinger.
town, I suppose.
Yeah, the wizard might have something to do with at least the business end there.
You mean the
Mhm.
Telson?
That one, yeah.
What was that about a stretch?
we need to. Is that what you're saying? You need to take a stretch. And this isn't anything specific you guys wanted to do inside the volcano.
I'm pretty done here.
Yeah.
We've been burned a few times. It's probably best to hit the dusty trail.
Nobody wants to test if the magma's.
And we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the
Yeah, the
old.
crystals
Let's
jump in the
go,
magma.
chariot along.
Let's see if I'm fireproof. And that was the end of Flick. All right.
Hoist the old mast down, my boys. Let's get the hell out of here.
I don't remember that line. It's a good one. As you make your way out to the exit, and the closer you get to the grotto, that you can start to smell the brine in the air before you can see it, before you can even hear the water, as that air just kind of starts to filter in, and you just... Somebody got a beeping something going on there?
Yeah, there's a watch that's... Let me deal with
Unacceptable. There are no watches in this fantasy world, Mike.
it. I know.
You hear a tracker behind you, beep, beep, falling on your way out. The predator.
Oh no, they bugged us.
By. Yeah, you smell the salt air, and begin to feel that breeze of fresh air once again, and moving once more to the grotto, seeing the light. Appears that you're coming out into a mid-afternoon, somewhat sunny day, a little bit overcast, but comparatively, it's bright and
Hello, sun.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And
I missed you.
the familiar sound of waves lapping distantly. You can see now the water that's pouring in from that break in the wall as it kind of enters into the cave. And there's a figure standing by the crates where you had found the smuggler's body caved in.
Oh boy.
Individual in familiar attire looks you over, his well-dressed orcish frame.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of grabs onto his coat and looks at each of you. Well, you've been in there for a long time.
Indeed.
Curious as to what you might have found in there, but
Orc is just gonna just drop the tail on the ground.
my.
Well, seeing as we're no longer within the walls of town, I don't believe it matters to you any.
Oh, you don't need to divulge anything to me that you don't wish to, but I'm just here out of curiosity, more or less.
And how did
You know what they
we
say
were
about
here?
curiosity?
Keeps you alive.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Of course it is.
How did you know that we were here?
Oh, dear lad.
Have you
I
seen
know.
Torque? And you? And Flick?
Your friend makes a good point, but I tend to keep tabs on what comes and goes out of the city. Especially those that come and go by land.
Have you been standing out here for the last several days?
Of course not.
Oh, good. I would hate to have wasted your time.
No. That's what hired help us for. They heard you coming, and I came to greet you.
So where have you been?
Here and there.
Oh!
That clears it all up, doesn't it?
Look, what do you want?
Yeah.
Let's. I'm done. I'm done with this nonsense. What do you want?
It would appear that Boone is beyond my grasp at the moment.
Yeah, he has a way of doing that.
You, however... here
Hi.
you are.
Yeah, we're very physical, especially when we don't like what we hear.
Ah. Perhaps I could persuade you to find some employment opportunities with me.
Jeez. Think there's a real unemployment problem in the town? Everybody's trying to hire us.
Well, yes, you are expendable, of course, since I have no personal connection to you. So if I hire you for something and it doesn't work out, no great loss for me there.
That's why you always get paid in advance.
Craig,
By the way, just FYI, that sentence now means I'm never working for him, so that's no longer an option.
do we know?
Torque is just gonna heft the barrel of spores and just try to walk past him.
All right.
Do we know which ship Runix belongs to? It's Runix, right?
It is
Yeah.
Runix.
I don't think so. We just kind of assumed that he was with either the Boons or their direct rivals.
Yeah, Torque's just had enough of this. He's gonna have the barrel over one shoulder and then just dragging the tail. He's just gonna try and walk past this guy and towards town.
As delightful as it is to see someone who values fashion as much as the other person, and I must point out, it is worth mentioning that fits your frame rather effectively. However,
Of course it does.
we are currently in the middle of another job of which we've been hired. That has a set limit, so we kind of need to go and
Yes.
get that job finished. And until then, we are currently on duty, as it were, and unavailable for hiring.
I mean, it didn't mean right now. Wouldn't want to keep Doran waiting, would you? Wizard's temperament and all.
Yeah,
He's got that.
He doesn't seem to have much of a temperament.
Really?
Torque, as you push by, he doesn't make any move to stop you. He just kind of steps to the side and doesn't really look at you as you pass.
Well, Mr. Runix, I think it goes without saying that you know where to find us.
I do indeed. I do indeed. Wow.
Low growl as he walks past.
Enjoy your
The
journey
only
back
reason-
then.
The only reason he hasn't been shot is because I'm pretty sure there's 40 guys that we can't see right now.
So the kobolds didn't pull a
So it
kobold,
goes.
but Runix is pulling a kobold.
Oh, there's no way he's alone. Come on.
Or he's just that strong.
Or he's not what he seems. Yeah, there's many reasons I'm not immediately going hostile.
Yeah, it's like at least go passive aggressive though. I was like,
Oh yeah.
Enjoy your journey back.
I'll be on Torque's.
Flick, I'd like you to keep
Heels.
both eyes open at all
Oh.
times.
Hey, sorry, Chuckles. No apples today. And just keep on moving.
I expect we'll be seeing you shortly in the future, Runix.
Sooner or later.
Yeah.
Ta-ta.
He just kind of like leans back on one of the crates and just folds his arms and just watches you leave.
Because we're comfortably out of earshot, I want to kill that guy so bad.
This is the room where we had the fight with those two kobolds and the scorpion, right?
Indeed.
Are those two kobold bodies visible?
No.
Okay.
They appear to have been taken and removed.
Collected.
Good.
Good.
Well,
All right.
we just promised the kobold leader that we wouldn't tell anybody about it, and here's Runix at the entrance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You do find your borrowed boat, magically controlled boat that you would use to get across this inland lake. Inland sea is still waiting for you. We're right where you moored it, kind of at that broken dock. And as soon as you kind of sit back in it, you get a sense like there's a tugging of it where it kind of wants to pull away, even as you have the rope kind of attached to the sort of makeshift mooring that you'd fix.
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna hold on tight
Okay.
because this thing is wicked fast.
And as you take the rope off, it kind of like moves slowly, kind of like a rowboat in reverse, or a motorboat in reverse, and just like moves out. And once it's out of the grotto and kind of out in the inland sea proper, it begins to, that wind kind of creates around it, and it, on an invisible gust, begins to move forward and pick up speed as it crosses towards the other side. And we will take this moment to take a break as you begin to make your way back to Porto de Arias, and we will pick up there. So we'll take a break, and we'll be back in 5 or so, maybe 6, 5:52, something around there.
Something like that.
Something like that. So stay tuned. We'll be back. Hi. Welcome back to Dungeons and Dragons. So, we pick up as the party makes its way back to Porto de Arias. And for sake of brevity of travel,
I mean, I don't get sick this time.
I mean, I don't know. Probably the second time back, you're a little bit more used to the boat whipping across the lake via, magic.
Mm-hmm.
But considering, you just spent a couple days inside a volcano, it's probably nice. This
A
time.
little bit of fresh air is probably feeling pretty good right about now.
Mm-hmm.
But making your way back into the city, and you find yourself going straight to Jordan's Tower. Anything else you guys want to do in town before you return to the Wizards?
I think we should take it straight there because we are walking around with a keg in a town full of pirates.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That's darn good.
sounds like we're being watched anyway, so let's get rid of the
Just gonna keep that scorpion tail on full display.
It definitely draws it draws some looks and some stares, like some nods of appreciation, like nice. Also a lot of, what the bloody hell is that? I ain't never seen a scorpion looking like that. Ain't none of them around here. Wonder we fought that thing. So probably the tail brings more questioning glances than, a barrel. Could be anything or nothing, but
Bit of misdirection.
a giant scorpion tail of that color is definitely drawing some looks. But the fact that you are carrying it and it has clearly also been cut off, those looks stay looks. And you don't really see anybody been wanting to come closer to the group that killed whatever that belongs to. At least not out in the open at the moment. So it serves well as somewhat of a warning, back off. So you make your way to Jordan's Tower unhindered then. Nobody coming to interfere with you at all. And as you approach, the statues up on the raised sort of courtyard area, again, kind of turn in your direction as you approach the front of the tower. And you hear the familiar, welcoming female voice of Ardell, the tower's sentient presence. Ah, you have returned. How was your quest?
We got the goods. Let's
It was remarkable.
Indeed. Would you like me to remark upon it?
To your boss, yeah.
let's get this commerce completed, and then we can have the chit chat.
I am sorry. That was an attempt at humor. I have been instructed to learn the ways of those who speak differently than Joran does.
Oh, we can have some discussion.
We appreciate
Wonderful.
the sentiment.
I know 101 jokes about rich wizards who get a comeuppance.
You should probably keep those to yourself.
Yeah,
That's all right. I have learned my lesson.
No, you haven't.
I have informed Joran that you have arrived. He's indicated that he will see you in his study.
Fantastic.
Would you like to enter into the lower parts of the chamber first, or should I send you right there?
You can do that?
Of course I can. I can do many things. I am a magical tower.
It's true. Sure, Zappa's right there.
Might as well get the dirty work
then.
done, yeah?
We've walked far enough for today.
That's a good point.
It will be less of a zapping you there and more of opening the door for you to walk directly into.
Okay. Still maybe less walking.
Sure. Welcome back, my friends. And the door, the rock kind of forms and shifts, and there's a bit of a blurring motion as it turns, and you see kind of it's like the appearance of wood, but not. And it almost like for appearance than anything, you see the appearance of a door like opening up and revealing the study within, and you can see Jordan sitting at his desk with the cluttered papers, shelves all around. Again, there's books like moving themselves here and there and sorting. There always seems to be kind of motion things going on. And as the door opens, he just kind of gives a wave in as he's writing something down on the desk. Come on, come in.
Hey, Mr. J, we got your goods.
We got lots.
As you step inside, there's a weird... It's like you're there and you can see it, but as you step, you realize that you are moving through some extraplanar portal or something, and there's kind of that moment of like, whoa, okay. That was a bit different. And once you're in, turning behind you, you just see wall. You don't see the outside or doorway or anything. You're just suddenly kind of in the chamber with them.
That's a feeling.
I gotta learn how to do this.
It was the right sort of study. I'm sure that you could master all sorts of things. Well, what in the blazes is that thing?
He points to the tail.
I did not ask for that.
That is the proof of beyond scope work that had to be completed.
Yeah, the whole place was friggin' infested with them.
Torque just shrugs.
It also makes a lovely boa for the little guy there. So it's
A variety of scorpion I can see. Interesting. May I?
Well, you could throw in a bonus.
May I see it?
Torque will just take it in both hands and hold it out for him to take.
He casts you see Mage Hand come and kind of pick it. And at the same time, there's a floating disc that appears under it, and there's kind of this two-part process where the hand and the disc kind of like, and it's like the disc just floats over.
Torque just takes a step back and leaves him to the process.
Yes. Remarkable. This creature, did it have any unusual properties to it, or was it just large?
I was going to mind the pointy bit. It injected magma, as I recall.
Torque still hasn't healed from the last fight, so he's just going to like hold out his arm and just show like the burn wound on his shoulder.
Fascinating. So rather than poison, it injects you with heat, fire. I'm curious. I could make some interesting things out of this. Well,
If the price is right, it's
yes.
everything for sale.
Well, we can talk about that part later. Do you have the the spores?
Yeah, that's the other thing that Torque.
That we do. That
Marcus.
and more.
I don't need
Well,
more.
just sets the keg down at his feet.
Just that's more than a pound.
'Tis indeed.
It's many pounds.
Hopefully. We didn't do all the shaking though. That is going to be up to you.
Interesting. Where did you get the barrel?
It's an old smuggler's cove. Place was filled full of them.
Yeah, convenient,
I
eh?
guess it hasn't been active in a long time.
Yeah, well, wood tends to last for a while when it's been left there.
Interesting. Curious. Well, this would be more than enough to see to the scrying bit, and perhaps we can get to the bottom, literally, of the Sea of Souls and see what it is that is making everything so dire that way. Yes.
Sounds like a plan. Yes.
I love peppering in a bit of comedy with this dark topic. Well done, sir.
Curious. Oh. I get the feeling that you're not telling me everything about your experience there.
Or would you like to hear about the other scorpions and the various traps and
Traps.
near-death experiences. Yeah, you know, things like lava, open pits. What was that one pit that we were dangling down filled with boiling water, and then the other side had a scorpion?
Well, there's the spring thing, and then there's the jagged rocks at the bottom of the hole, and yeah, there's all sorts of crap like that. It was a delight.
Curious. I don't recall any jagged spike pits there before.
Well, we say jagged spikes. It was really more of a rough, rocky terrain that would have been painful to land on.
Oh,
We had to go a
okay.
bit deeper. I don't know what you've been told, but it's not a quick in and out job. Those things tend to grow a little further in.
Perhaps they've been harvested then. Very, very well. All right. Keep your secrets. Indeed.
I mean, you certainly keep yours. Which I don't begrudge you.
Yeah.
You really need to take that stick out of your behind, my friend. I have done you personally no wrong, yet you seem to hold such ill will towards me for whatever reason I cannot fathom. Or do you just treat everybody this way, young man?
That's pretty much it. You're
A
getting
little from column A, a little from column B.
You're kind of a jerk.
Or we're just gonna let this one play out.
He's
just sitting there in the back, just.
I just, I'm, you know, I have opinions, I have ideas,
yes.
and I don't like to hold back. I don't believe in holding back. I think that people holding back is a poisonous toxicity that is running rampant through society. But I won't get into it.
Oh, please do. Tell me what you think of me, young man. I would know. What you presume to know about me.
Not necessarily.
Opinions you have about me.
Not necessarily you personally. I just don't
Feels
like.
pretty personal to me.
Hey, I'll take that as a compliment. I'm a little, what's the word, abrasive when it comes
I
to
hadn't noticed.
anyone who happens to be sort of above the common folk, as it were.
I see.
Especially when they have awesome powers which they could use to better the lives of those beneath them, but
I see.
do not. Now, again, I'm not judging you, but I am not going to withhold my own personality simply because it offends you.
You see, by having that very presumption about me without knowing me at all is, in fact, judging me. You've
hey, I don't
judged
see
me before you ever spoke to me because you assumed that you know who I am and what it means to be me. You have no idea, young man, what I have done in my life and for whom I have done it.
How many other houses in this town have a talking house?
You are naive, but that won't hold against you.
Or he's just gonna like nudge Dinar and just like do like the let's move this along gesture.
I will offer you a nugget of information.
It's an up, Taylind.
Most people whom you insult in such a manner so openly will not be so gracious with you in this world. I suggest you keep that in mind before you run your mouth, insulting those who you have no business insulting because you know nothing about. And I would recommend moving forward that you keep your opinions to yourself. While in my tower, yes?
Fair enough. You did ask, however.
Oh, I did. And I've been enlightened greatly. Now.
In future, Taylind, let's save the shade for Runix, eh?
Master Donar, how would you like to be of assistance to me and the ritual that I am considering?
Yes. Sure,
I
yes.
was considering perhaps doing more with it for you, but I'm not sure if you're so inclined at the moment.
And he kind of gives a direct look at Taylind as he says so.
Look,
Looks back at you.
We travel together, but the opinions of our group are our own.
Orc will just nudge the scorpion tail of his foot and say, peace offering, if you will allow our differences.
He asked!
Because you came out strong.
I will compensate you for the tail if you wish to be rid of it. Very interesting properties, I think, that I could make several somethings from, actually.
Well, what kind of things? Because maybe we'd prefer the results over just flat payment.
For you, nothing. For him, points to Torque, I will give payment. You, my friend, will be lucky if I do any business with you going forward at all.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Taylind, you're going to end up as a toad.
Snaps his fingers, and you hear there's the voice from behind from Ardell says, "Yes, master." And you're like,
Or that.
Taylind, you find yourself sitting outside the front of the tower.
Oh, that's a feeling. Well, I gotta go refill my flask anyway.
You see the rest of you, Joran kind of like physically puts his hands on his head.
See, I got to learn how to do that too.
Helpless, you are standing there.
Your
when
friend
the
is going
march
to get
thunder
himself
plays.
killed.
Oh, I'm aware of that.
Is he?
I think that's part of the plan, actually. As long as he doesn't drag the rest of us down with him, that's my goal.
If he walks around treating everybody he meets that he doesn't know but presumes to know in such a manner, it's not going to be long until somebody takes the wrong kind of offense and acts upon it, and quickly.
I think he's banking on that, man. He's
Interesting.
itching for a fight, and he doesn't care who gives it to him. And the bigger smackdown he gets, the more justified he's going to feel.
Well, it's not going to be a fight, it's more of an undoing, an assassination, a wiping out of.
Well, yeah, if he ticks off the wrong guy, for sure.
Can Torque roll an insight real quick?
Sure.
What are you trying to gauge?
I'm just like, just trying to gauge, like, how much of this is a warning and how much of this is a threat.
Okay. Sure.
Like percentage-wise.
Sure, yeah.
That could have been an 11.
Six.
Hard to say, yeah. I mean, it seems like it's more warning.
He's a little distracted by the talking walls.
Yeah. Normally when walls talk, it's not a good thing, right? He does seem kind of put off by the whole situation, and you can see that it takes a moment to kind of collect himself and collect his thoughts again, and kind of
Yes, well, how does I'll give you 500 gold for the tail. I think there's some very interesting properties in there that will be very valuable too.
Holy smokes, we should just go back and clear that place out.
Torque is gonna look at the other two in the room and just try and like gauge their reactions as to whether or not that's amenable.
That seems like a fair price, Mr. J. Hey, speaking of fancy crap, and I will fish out my piece of crystal and toss that around and flick it in my hand, toss it up around, catch it and toss and catch it. What do you make of this thing?
May I?
Mage hand appears with his fingers out.
Found this crap growing all over the place.
The mage hand kind of he pulls the mage hand forward towards him and kind of holds it out in front. This was growing inside the mountain.
Yeah. Huh?
Yes.
Is it still glowing right now?
It does not appear to be
All right.
glowing at all.
I will not mention that.
Yeah.
Did you do any detection of sort, or divination, or anything regarding?
I dinged it once and it sounded real nice, but that was right.
Curious. Dinar, and his like eyes just like fixated on this and was like, Dinar, did you
Oh, and I didn't
do any
say
ascertaining on it at all, perhaps? Or
He didn't have it prepared.
rituals, my boy.
Well, yes, I was going to. Let's just say that we were under fire when we came across these things and just needed more time. I was going to do that when we got back.
Interesting. It appears. Give me one moment, sir. And you can you recognize some of the words of like identification spell more or less as he kind of runs his hands in this pattern around it and kind of reaches out in his mind. Oh my. Oh my, indeed.
Do tell.
This is Ataxian magic.
Sorry, who now?
Ataxian?
This is Ataxian. This is from the Chaos Weave. I believe this is part of a fracture.
A what now? A fracture?
So these are all words that I know, but in
Yeah.
context, this is not making a hell of a lot of sense to me. Can you dumb it down for us a little bit?
There are well, as a spellcaster, Dinar, certainly you are familiar with the weave, the source of all magic, that which runs through everything.
I mean, I am obviously as a practice spellcaster.
I've been teaching Flick a little bit about it because I
Yes, good.
am well versed. Yes.
Well, there are two weaves actually. One is the Orduan, which is order, and the other is the Ataxian, chaos. They are sort of intertwined, and the Ataxian, it breaks through every now and then in spots that are called fractures, and strange magic happens at these places. They're all over the place. I didn't think there was one this close by, though. Apparently one has appeared within the volcano. Curious. It appears this crystal is innate, though, although there was magic. There's this faint sense of arcane that's still attached to it. Was it doing anything when you found it?
I mean, it was sitting on the ground.
It seemed different from the other rocks in the area. We thought it might be something
Valuable.
Yeah,
Interesting.
like a weird new form of obsidian or something.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to let you know that I know that you're keeping something from me, but that's all right. You keep your secrets. That's fine.
My wind chime business will be mine alone.
Anyways,
If I may be so bold,
I know you to be nothing but, please.
3 discoveries, 3 rewards.
This I don't have any use for, this crystal.
Bing.
I only request a small recompense, a personal favor, if you will.
Perhaps.
Let Taylind back in. We will keep him on his best behavior from here on out.
Can you?
I mean,
We can certainly try.
once we can cut off his booze supply, I think that's the behavior inhibitor.
Allow me to be forthright with you first, yes?
Sure.
Dinar, as one who practices the arcane arts in a way similar to I, as a wizard, yes?
Yes.
Have you just had magic handed to you? Have you had to seek it out, to strain for it, to learn, to
Well,
adventure, to gain more access, to sacrifice yourself and your time and energy and much more?
If I may, D,
sure.
sir, I taught myself how to read this damn book. That's sacrifice. I spent, you know how many hours I've spent with this thing? I figured out 6 spells, okay?
Yes.
Sacrifice, that. Yes, I learned magic. I get where you're coming from. I don't get it handed to me. I gotta earn every one of these damn things.
Mm.
I mean, I'm a little of both. You know, for the most part, everything that I'm able to do wielding the arcane, I've had to learn through struggle, through trial and error, through explosions sometimes. But at the same time, I am what I am. And so
Wonderful.
there is a slight gift to the arcane that runs through me.
Good.
As for myself, I know not of magic, but I do know of sacrifice.
Let me assure you that what I have gained, what I have around me, what powers I might have, they have cost me greatly in this life. And I'm not done paying those costs. Yes. Try to help your friend understand that not all is as it seems. And even those who might seem that they are above or well off are sometimes to be more pitied than envied or even hated. We all have different colors that we wear in this life. To each their own. Very well. Adele, is the young man still outside?
Oh yeah, he left.
Taylind, whereabouts might you be?
Closest bar.
Okay. Probably closest thing you could find would be crossing into Portside. And just kind of near Market Square, there are a few kind of open taverns, small drinking room areas kind of thing. One's more like almost kind of like a tiki bar kind of thing, like by the small river.
That'll do. There's somewhere to get some refills on my flask.
Okay.
And a couple of cheap things just to store away for when night falls.
Sure.
Just to be on the safe side. And I might busk a bit depending on how much time I have.
Gotcha. Ardell replies after a moment. I'm afraid he has wandered away, Master.
Orc shrugs.
Does tend to do that.
Retrieve him.
Can you?
I mean, theoretically, yes. I'd rather not pull him from wherever he is against his will, but if it is your request that I do so, it could be arranged.
Is he going to be easier to handle if we pull him out of wherever he is, do you guys think?
I'm guessing he is elbows deep in a bar somewhere, so...
This whole undertaking was for his sake, right?
He wanted to scry.
Bring him back.
Do you know what it is he's looking for?
Knowing him, a waste of our time, probably, but call it a sunk cost fallacy.
Perhaps we can do this by meeting in the middle. Ardell, send him a message first. Inquire as to his willingness to return. Let us see what the answer is. By the way, would any of you like any strawberry juice?
Yes.
That's very specific.
Please.
Oh, it's my favorite. Those bottles on the shelf there, the pink ones. Why don't you grab a handful for yourself there?
Oh, that's right. I hate that damn tower. You can't have alcohol.
Not the purple ones, just the pink ones. Don't touch the purple. That is not strawberry juice. Pink. Yes, you know pink from purple?
Yes.
Good. Very well.
Taylind, you hear a familiar voice in your head. Hello, Taylind.
By all the bloody wait.
This is Ardell.
Yeah.
I've been asked to ask if you would like to return. Your friends wish you.
You can just go in my head. All right, fine, sure, yes, whatever. Can I take this with me?
You don't hear a response back.
Wizards.
Taylind says he is willing to come back.
Just to be safe, I'm going to down the entire drink in one go.
Very well.
It's not going to affect me once I'm in the tower anyway.
Bring him along then.
And much to the surprise of the other patrons around you and the bartender, you're suddenly just like, there's like a purple energy kind of like summons around you, and then it kind of like comes up.
Just as a note, I will make a point to put coins on the counter first.
Perfect. Like as you're doing that, like your hand kind of like disappears. Like
I'm gonna pay for my drinks. I don't need that.
A slit in kind of space beside the three of you just kind of parts for a second, and then like twists vertical and opens up, and Taylind is suddenly just there.
The Baldur's Gate dimension door animation.
Welcome back.
I think it's safe to decide I do not enjoy portals.
Young man, my friends have assured me that you will be on your best behavior moving forward, especially since you desire something to be done for you, yes?
Yeah.
Was
Very
the
well.
arrangement?
Well, the ritual will take longer, so perhaps this scrying of yours can be achieved first. To prove that I am of my word.
Sure. Isn't it a scrying either way, though?
I meant that I will do it for you. I'm going to do this for you, in addition to the ritual that we are casting for the Sea of Souls, and what we are to find in there. You said you wanted something for you, is it not? Is that not the case? Or your friends had intimated here that you wanted a scrying done.
Yeah. I could go with a good scry if it's on the table.
Everyone needs a good scry now and then.
Makes life so much easier.
I'm scrying right now.
Well, how now? I must admit,
On the inside.
I am unfamiliar with what is involved, but I will be happy to provide whatever you need. Though, if it could be done, I would prefer it to be as what's the term, on the down low as much as possible.
Down low.
Incognito, inconspicuous, unknown to those I deem unworthy of the knowledge.
You don't want your target to know that.
That would be very nice, and I would also like none of the weird eyes and ears of this place. And I'm just gonna don't know if there's a window, but I'm just going to gesture like the town. And
Don't worry.
I don't know how comfortable I am with y'all being aware of it, but whatever. We'll see what happens.
Well, I mean,
Taylind, you're gonna have to open up to someone at some point.
Yeah, that's the thing. Depending on how this goes, it may involve you. So
Yeah, if we're going down with your ship, I'd like to know why.
exactly, I think you deserve that at least, especially you, Flick. We got a thing, right? We got a thing.
Yeah, we do, and I'm worried about you. So I want.
You don't need to be worried about me.
How about this? I'm equally concerned about whatever you're concerned about.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Yes. And in layman's terms, I'm worried about you.
All right. So what do you want me to do? You want me to?
Let's do this thing. We'll find out what's been eating away at your insides, and maybe
I gotta cross my
start working
legs
towards
or
fixing it. How's that sound?
chant something or?
No. I will.
I'm much more familiar with the natural magics.
Yes. I will need to know the person you're attempting to scry on. The better you know them, the more you know about them, the easier this would be. Is this somebody that you are intimately familiar with?
Yes.
Good. Do you have perhaps anything at all of them that you carry with you that you could provide? A picture, an item, anything?
Yeah. Will a ascot work?
Yes, if it belonged to the individual.
Yeah.
Please, may I see it?
We'll take the teal one out, which kind of shows the chain holy symbol, but not all of it. And then hand it over as he does up the top button of his shirt.
I've seen that before.
He doesn't know that.
Well made.
It was probably not his to begin with.
He was the last one to have it before you
Yes.
possessed it. Very well. All right. I'm assuming this person is on the material plane, yes? Not in somebody dead in heaven or the afterlife or
I certainly hope not.
plane of fire somewhere? Because if that's so, then this will not work. That doesn't mean that they're dead. It just means they're not here.
Either way, I'd be grateful for the news. But I certainly do hope he is on the material plane.
If there is anything that I see that you would not wish to know, or should you simply wish me to divulge whatever there is?
I'll take all of it.
Narrate. Paint us a picture with words.
A map even. A map would be great.
That'd be fantastic also.
Well, it doesn't exactly work that way. I can see the person and perhaps around 10 feet around them. It's not really a sort of homing beacon. It'll just show me what they are doing and their immediate surroundings at this very moment.
Even a ship name would be invaluable.
Maybe they're leaning over the edge. We'll have to see.
Or, if not on a ship, town landmarks or something. Anything could be useful.
Very well. Dana, would you fetch me that there's a small box that you see on the third shelf over there, the black one, the blackwood.
How many boxes are in this room?
A lot. That's why it's like that small black one, the little bit longer one. Retrieve that for me, please.
We're having this meeting in
Will
his
do.
storage locker.
The shoebox of Ortu Terrace. Yes.
Yeah. Less shoes. What? As you bring it over,
I fully expect this wizard to be the kind of guy that just has a plastic shopping bag full of plastic shopping bags.
Oh yeah, totally. but the plastic shopping bags are putting themselves inside the plastic shopping bag. That's the part of it.
He's like super old. He keeps everything in old Werther's tins.
That's right.
They might come in handy later.
Except for the Werthers, they're in something else.
Yes.
They're in a Tupperware container in the fridge.
No, they're in the David cookie tin, obviously. That's
Did any of you did you guys take the strawberry juice?
I did.
I don't have any, but I'm assuming they do.
Mhm.
So those of you who drink the strawberry juice, it is incredible. It tastes like a fresh, perfectly pure strawberry. And it's sweet, and it is good.
Oh man, you didn't let this one sit long enough, I don't think.
Well, you don't like strawberries.
Well, yeah, but you gotta let them brown first, right?
No, I'm going to ignore that.
He opens the box and pulls out a silver hand mirror, and you can see it's very, very ornate in its construction, and there's a lot of intricate carvings and design on it, and very, very beautiful. This alone probably worth a lot of money. And he pulls it out very gently, and then just kind of places his hands under it. And it has it levitate a little bit off of his hands, and then just moves his hands, closes the box, puts it aside, and leaves the mirror there.
All right, this will be the focus. I will try my best to portray what I see for you, Taylind, if you would wish to observe the mirror.
I'll never say no to looking in a mirror.
Indeed.
True story.
It doesn't always work. You may see everything that I see. You may see blurry. I will give you as much information as I can, but if you wish to see what there is to be seen, you must clear your head.
Oh boy.
Try to remove any expectations you might have of what might be seen. It clouds what is. Can you do that?
For this. Yes.
Good. All
I'm
right.
already running through the mental list of the nearby bars to go to after this, because it is obviously
No, it's easy enough to. In this particular instance, it's very easy to clear the head and focus on one very specific thing.
Good. I see your determination. It's like, yeah, he's gonna need a drink after this. Anyway, but,
Oh, we're going to the bar after. Oh, that's
Yeah.
happening. That's
Right. Okay. As the spell begins and Jorand closes his eyes and recites a small incantation, you see in the small glass of the mirror, there's a kind of an upward thrusting movement as you see your vision kind of pulled up out of the tower and into the sky above, and you can very briefly see the Isle of Sands from above, an unusual sight, as if from a bird's eye view. And then your vision is just thrust northward. North. North. And then down. Down. Into the water. Below the water. Continuing down. Down. Dark. Cold. And then there's stillness. The dark is pierced by a soft light, almost like a candlelight, but you can see its source. It's a pearl in the middle of a palm, and you're looking through almost the eyes of an individual, holding this pearl in their palm. Coarse, rough hands. There's kelp and things on the seafloor around. And you can just make out almost like a large apparatus of some sort covering the entire head of this individual and the shoulders. And they're looking for something, looking around. Holding the light. Give me a perception check.
Alrighty, I'm good at that. 18.
Hey.
18, okay.
You are good at that.
I said I was good at it.
Kind of focusing on this, and you're trying to make out the whatever small details you can, and with the aid of Joran kind of describing what he sees as well. There appears to be a tether of some sort, a line that is attached to this apparatus that the individual is wearing, and you can see dark shapes kind of circling, hesitantly keeping away from the light, but something circles nearby, and the figure kind of shifting around, moving in the seabed, kicking up dirt from the seafloor as it kind of puffs up and creates a little bit of some sand around, and then the hand holds onto something and pulls free. It's a hilt. You see a scabbard. The light flickers for a moment. There's kind of some bubbling. And then the vision fades. You feel yourself pulled away almost abruptly as it's just kind of shut off, and you feel yourself just kind of as the mirror goes dark again. Joran kind of opens his eyes and is back, and well, that was interesting. That sword is what severed the connection, I believe. Curious.
The hell was it?
It looked like they were on the bottom of the ocean. That's fascinating.
It's a word
Definitely
for it.
cold waters, far to the north. Does this mean anything to you?
It means he's alive. That's all I need right now. Thank you.
Of course.
Taylor's just going to go find a chair and sit down. And drink from his flask, even though it won't do anything.
One moment. Adele, would you? Oh, yes, of course, master. Chair appears.
Is it a nice chair?
I mean, it's wooden chair. It's got a decent padding, like a cushion on it. So
Okay, that's good.
Piled on it, so it's all
It's
right.
good enough.
It's not like a folding chair. I mean, it's decent.
Okay. It's like a dining room chair.
Sure. It's a chair.
It's a chair. Okay.
I didn't put that much thought into it. I'm sorry.
We're talking like a lazy
I'd like to investigate the chair.
Make us a word picture, Craig.
I'm like an insight check on the chair.
Is it sincere?
It's a mimic. Jordan retrieves the box and pulls it kind of underneath where the mirror is still kind of hovering and opens it. And as he does so, he brings the mirror and puts it back inside very reverently and closes it. And then hands it back to you, Dinar. Would you mind putting it back for me, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Well, that sword has piqued my interest, actually. There's sentience to it, perhaps.
Do you know of it?
Not specifically. There are many swords of great magic, perhaps even sentience, that I've heard of, read of, encountered some even, yes. Yes. One smelled of trees in autumn. It was a strange sense that always was attached to the sword. Can never figure out why, actually. I mean, there's nothing about the sword that said it had anything to do with autumn, but there was always this smell that just kind of came off of it, and whenever you were around it, it made you feel like you were walking in a forest glade. Give you sort of a musky scent. It was.
Hey, Mr. J.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I said the sword has distracted me, has got me thinking. I would, for my own curiosity and perhaps yours as well, I will see if I can uncover any information about a sword.
And possibly anyone who might be looking for it.
Lots of people would be looking for swords for many reasons, but
people
yes.
who are very wealthy and might be willing to hire someone to get it.
I see. Sure. I'll do what I can.
Maybe even someone who doesn't pay the highest, but looks for the most desperate.
These are very specific clues to work with. Thank you. Adele, I assume that you've made note of that? Yes, of course, Master. Yes, thank you. Well, I believe we have...
That ritual.
Yes, that is what I was about to say.
How can I help?
Well, you are a practitioner of the arcane, are you not?
I am.
Good. How long can you stay awake?
Well, that depends on what time it is right now.
It is late afternoon, evening.
You got another 12 hours in you.
I mean, we don't have plans to go anywhere, so sure, I could stay up the night.
Yeah, we do actually, but we still have a couple days, I think.
Yeah.
Good.
Time enough.
Master Flick.
Do you need all of us?
No. Master Flick.
Yes, sir.
You said you've been reading a book, learning how to interpret arcane writings, yes?
Yep, like a pro, let me tell you.
Yeah. Pro. Well, would you like to put your knowledge to the test?
I mean, yeah, I love applying this stuff. I getting to use my new tricks is great. Check this out. Minor image in my hand of the crystal. Hey, you thought it was a crystal. Oh, no, it's not. It's an illusion. That's fantastic, isn't it? All right, let's do this thing.
Yes, wonderful. Excellent.
I know, isn't it great?
That was impressive. Yes. That's what I'm supposed to say. Yeah, right.
Yeah. You go a little. It's good.
Well, I'll need the two of you. If I can have you reading
parts of the ritual. The incantation, it will save us some time, as I will not have to read it all on my own.
All right. I will warn you, I will have to sound some of them out phonetically, but I can get the job done, I promise.
Good. All right. Ardell, would you open the way, please?
Yes, of course. The wall opens up and reveals one of those kind of side little pockets where there's like a little circle of runes inscribed in the ground as they all kind of come to light.
If you would, please, we'll go to the ritual chamber.
Hey, little guy, Taylind, the magic guy's got stuff to do. We'll catch you later.
I mean, you're more than welcome to come. You just...
I'm
be
in
observing,
an exclusive club here, so...
He's wrong, but... You may come and observe, or if you have other matters to attend to, that's... Find a nice couch for you to lounge on, perhaps?
Come on, give me this one thing. I've never been part of a real club before.
Something to hit?
That's all the same to you. I think I'll remain here.
Yeah, Taylor's got to go brood somewhere. Let's go have some magic fun.
Torque, let's leave Flick to his fun.
Yeah, you need a brooding buddy. Torque is definitely your man. All right, we're off.
All right, Flick and Donar, then.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Our magical club, as Flick has intimated.
Yes. Magic club high five.
Just don't mention the fact that I do know bardic magic, which is technically arcane magic, but that's fine.
Nope.
Don't worry about it.
You're already gone.
He mage hand high fives you.
If it doesn't come out of a book, it doesn't count.
I am touched. I've gotten the magic high five. This is fantastic. Let's go do this thing. I am so into this.
It's wonderful.
As you step into the arcane circle, you're just kind of that bit of a flash, and you find yourself presumably in another part of the tower, in a chamber that has been just covered in arcane runes and writing and glyphs. There are 7 pillars surrounding this room, and in the very center there is a slightly raised part of the floor that has specific runes that are inscribed around it. And in the very middle of it, there is not a table, but more almost kind of like a stool. And on the stool, there are multiple scrolls just kind of sitting there. And as the two of you each kind of appear there, somehow almost seemingly already there, or just kind of from the other side of the room, you hear Joran's voice. Yes, all right. Well, let's get started then. If you would approach.
As I'm walking, I'm already like looking around, going, okay, I know that one. And that one. Oh, and there's the funny one, and then the little man, and then
bird,
the cat.
eye, fish.
Yeah.
Ugly line, alligator head. Okay.
I'm just picturing the mummy now. Flick is walking around. It's got an arm.
Yeah. It was that one. Emotep. He kind of points to the scrolls that are in the middle. If I will require, just pick one of them and it will start reading. Stay within the circle here. My hope is that we can ascertain what lies at the very heart of the sea. This is more or less similar to the scrying spell, but much more powerful. Oh yes, the ember spores. I need those. Already on it, master. The barrel just kind of appears, and mage hand again. Like, you've noticed that he doesn't really seem to touch much on his own. Just curious. Most of what he does seems to it's mage hands. He kind of has a lot of things kind of doing stuff for itself, and doesn't really seem to physically do too much with his hands. And as the ember spores are kind of brought up out of the barrel, the hand sprinkles them around the outside of the circle. You see a number of other ingredients are brought from other places, and you can see now that kind of off to the side behind where the pillars are, there are cases and jars and vials and things kind of in different spots. And a number of these arcane components are brought and sprinkled around and placed in various spots around this ritual circle. And as each component is put in place, another set of runes will come alight. Another circle, a circle within a circle. There's lines and patterns kind of going all over the place. The pillars will each light up with different glyphs and runes kind of activate in different spots around the entirety of this chamber. And it becomes very clear that this entire thing was constructed in a way to facilitate the heightening of arcane practices and to make rituals easier, more powerful, specifically for things of this magnitude. Well, we have several hours of reading ahead of us.
Okay.
Are you prepared?
All right. I'm gonna put on my thinky specs now. All right, let's do this. Finger on the page, like Obi die. All right. That one's Obi die. Nabora. Sesma. All right. That one's done. All right. Next line. Same line. Oh.
He's a work in progress.
Yeah. No, I promise I'm going to be helpful here. I'll go. Look, I'm already recognizing words. That one's Obi die. Medua. Valcott. Hey, prompt. 2 down. Oh, crap.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. On and on we're going, but I'm sticking with it. And Flick's getting faster. He's starting to recognize words that he's sounding them out. It's like, he knows how to sound them out. He just hasn't seen them in this configuration before. So.
As long as he doesn't start saying Emotep over and over again, you should be all right.
That's just an Emotep.
All good.
All right. Can I get the two of you to each make an Arcana check for me, please?
Hey.
Sure can, Chief. Here we go.
Trained in that.
Hey, there's a solid 7.
That seems about right.
Yep,
Oh my
yep.
goodness. Well, my Arcana is your roll. So it's +7. I rolled a 10, so 17.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got a 17, we got a 7, and a 26.
To be fair, these are his books, so.
Yeah. This is my first time at this one, so cut me some slack here. 6 spells, remember.
All right.
You're doing
So
just fine.
as the ritual begins and as the two of you along with Jordan begin to read, you hear a fourth voice chime in reading as well. And you see the fourth scroll picked up by a extremely translucent, barely visible female figure. And the voice that you hear is that of Ardell, who begins to read as well. And so the four of you kind of reading in unison. Flick, it takes you a couple stumbles.
Yeah, huh?
But you begin to kind of hear the cadence and the rhythm. And almost just kind of by the very nature of the spell itself, you are eventually kind of pulled into it a little bit more, and you find your rhythm. Still a couple hiccups here and there.
Sure.
But the more you hear some words and you realize, oh, that's this word. Okay.
Yeah, that's how that one's pronounced.
That's how that one's pronounced.
Gets
right.
the really,
yes.
really dusty book off the shelf and blows
Right.
the dust off. Baby's first ritual.
Yeah, it's like that's Deborah, not Deborah. Okay, I got it. Good. And there's definitely something occurring, and each of you can feel the magic kind of permeating the air now. It's coming into place, and from what you understand, you assume that the ritual is proceeding, and you read the scroll. Seemingly longer than you expected, and it does begin to take several hours of this continued reading. And every now and then, some more ingredients are kind of coming sprinkled in. There's another jar comes in and pours a liquid out kind of around the circle, and each time something is added, there's kind of like a new flash, a new glyph that comes into light, and the very air in the center of the chamber begins to kind of form and coalesce into more or less of a vision, very blurry at first, and as it becomes more and more clear, you can see water, and it appears just to be the surface of a sea, and you can see that darkness that reminds you of the very water of the Sea of Souls that has that taint to it. While this is going on, Flick and Torque, or not Flick, sorry, Taylind and Torque, the T's. What is transpiring with the two of you?
A lot of staring, which may have turned into a staring contest.
just sort of wordlessly in the elevator, just
a la Falcon
staring
Winter
each other
Soldier,
down.
Yeah.
You blink, you blink.
Or can we actually be asleep at this point? But,
Yeah, what are we looking at? Is this like going to be hours and hours and hours? Like, is this going to be a thing where like we're probably going to be going to sleep at some point, or are we staying up for the whole thing? Or
you remember? So I would say, just based off what you heard, Jordan did ask, how long?
Yeah. So we're expecting this will go into like the wee hours of the morning.
It's possible.
Am I still unable to get drunk while within the tower?
You can give me an Arcana check if you want to try and deduce the potential length of the ritual.
16.
It's going to be a bit.
Okay, and I am guessing that I cannot get inebriated while within the walls of this tower.
It does seem to be the case.
Yeah, I love this tower.
While we're just staring at each other down, Torque is going to take one of those little flutes of the strawberry juice and just.
Well, Torque. You want to get a room somewhere, or are you going to stay here?
I am undecided.
To be honest, I'd rather not walk around a pirate port at night by myself.
I will accompany you if need be.
That would be great. I'd like to go somewhere that's not anti-inebriation. I don't know what this guy has against libations, but it irks me.
After what we've just been through, a drink sounds amenable.
That's my boy. Let me tell you about this drink called vodka. It looks exactly like water. You'll love it.
Flick's ears are turning around at this point. Crying a little bit as he's reading.
All right.
So I assume this would be probably maybe not super late into the ritual. Because if we're already under the assumption that it's going to go all night, then we're not going to be hanging. Taylor's not going to be hanging around too long. But he's still going to probably take maybe the half hour, 45 minutes to decompress, have a staring contest, win the staring. Actually, he's not going to win. What am I saying? And then
Torque out of Does Torque does he blink? I don't even know if he has to blink. Like, do turtles have eyelids? I guess this is a question. This is a good.
It's your world, your lore.
Anatomy question. They probably have those like translucent ones, right?
Yeah, like the lenses, just
yeah. But you can't even tell. He could blink and like you don't even realize it because it's just like that translucent like.
You should think about blink one eye and then blink the other eye.
Yeah, while looking away from you, like,
So I guess, is there an inn that's near the tower? I don't want to go too far from it in case it explodes and we need to run in.
You wouldn't be able to find anywhere to stay necessarily on the ship's side.
I'm assuming we can't squat in the front yard of the tower because the enchantment continues its existence there. Because to be honest, I'm fine with that.
You could find out.
Hanging out in an alley drinking booze. That's.
I mean, yeah, it's whatever. We do what we do.
Pirate City. You know, one in Rome.
You would have, yeah, when you were over kind of like Market Square area and down towards the dock side, there's several inns, boarding houses.
Okay, well, Market Square is not that far.
Kind of thing, so
I'd be okay going out to the area on Market Square. I think that's reasonable.
To walk across the bridge kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. As you make your way over there, getting into the kind of twilight hours, it's still lively as anything, as a good pirate port would be.
I'll sing you a song of the fish in the sea. And I assume there's a huge chorus around me of way, hey, blow the man down.
While this is going on, Torque is going to be just sort of monitoring Taylind just to see, just watching his mood, sort of following everything we've just been through.
If Craig will allow it, you can make an insight check.
I would absolutely allow it.
All right.
But do I allow it?
Well, you don't have to.
Yes. No. I
don't want to.
I'm just saying it for flavor. I don't actually.
I forbid myself.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
Damn.
All right.
There's a crit, 22.
It's much more obvious that he is trying to do more. He's choosing very jovial, very well-known pieces rather than the stuff he normally goes with. And he's definitely trying to be a lot more like rally up the people around, and he's not looking at Torque at all or talking to Torque at all.
Keeping Taylind in his line of sight, Torque is going to go just to the nearest place where you can acquire a couple of drinks to bring them back.
Take your pick. Like I said, it's Pirate Port Market,
It's Torque, so it's going to be nothing fancy. He's going to be coming back with 2 mugs of grog, essentially.
Easy enough to find. Pretty much most of what you find around here is there's places exist to get drunk. That's like a good 70% of, at night especially, what is
moonshine.
Available. Some real hoppy ale, a beer you can chew.
All right, there you go. Yeah. Comes back with a couple good stout oat brews.
Wordlessly hands one over.
Cheers. This place seems fine. It's quiet enough. A little bit of rousy. Should be all right.
Quite extraordinary magic we saw back there.
Well, yes. That's the thing about wizards, isn't it? They like their towers and they like their magic.
I was referring to the power to see anyone in this world from any distance.
Well, yes. You see, that is the thing. These wizards hold such immense power and just kind of sit on it. I mean, that would be, imagine how incredibly useful, for example, law enforcement would have with such a thing like that. Or even if you were to say, be looking at a bounty. Change the world.
Or someone with which you have unfinished business.
Aye, that too. That being said, if someone of ill repute were to gain such a power, it could also be rather problematic because, privacy and all that. But such are the ways of mages and magic. Magic is a good tool. It allows us to accomplish a great many things, even if you were to use it in ways that those who devise the magic would say is heresy.
And what did you accomplish, Taylind Wavesinger? Did you find what you were looking for in the tower?
Found information, which is about what I expected. And potentially a contact. You can see where this thing about the sword goes. Rather interesting, that.
I have spent the past 10 years of my life in complete isolation.
Yeah, I'm surprised you made it out.
As you might expect, there are certainly quite a few individuals whom I would want to catch up with since my time in exile.
Indeed.
A spell of that kind would have been quite useful to that end.
Yeah, you should have asked. That's what I did.
I thought that your choice would be more fitting.
What makes you say that?
He's gonna set down the drink on just like the nearest countertop or whatever.
Countertop?
Or table or barrel, I guess.
It should be a bench, and the whole bench should go.
Plank of wood.
No, he doesn't sit. He just sets the drink on it. Is what I said.
Okay.
A flat surface.
Is there a flat surface, or is it all kind of wobbly?
I don't know. There's flat surfaces.
Okay.
Like,
I'm not gonna get a leveler out.
And my responsibilities.
Flat
a lot of what you see, it looks like a lot of the construction of like even tabletops and bar counters, stuff like that. A lot of it is like repurposed ship planks. Seems to be a
very absorbent,
favorable trend here. That they just take, a ship is scuttled and they're like, well, let's make use of it.
This place smells great.
Smells very salty.
This person who you chose to scry on, what are they to you?
Well, as you said, unfinished business.
Bear in mind that I could have neglected to request your return to the tower and use the scry for myself.
Yeah, I guess I do owe you. I'll take care of your drinks tonight. And the room.
Orc is going to shrug and realize he's not going to gain any further ground on this. And
you know what? Because you did roll so high on your insight, like he's being facetious.
I think Torque knows, and I think that he also just knows.
Yeah, Taylind, yeah.
There's only so much prying that he can really get away with, so.
That depends how long you wait.
Yeah. He'll drop the topic for now. He tried. He did his due diligence, and free drinks is good enough for him.
Facetious. Cheers, mate.
To old friends and new discoveries, then.
Time flies when you're having rum, my boy. Time flies when you're having rum.
Taylind, as you are sipping your drinks, or chugging, shots, whatever.
We're sipping. It's early.
Okay. Pass for perception. Couple of bars down, as it were, a couple of spots down, kind of in the square. Just at a peripheral, you look over. You recognize one of the individuals that you had seen accompanying Runix previously. Just rough-looking human male with kind of patchy brown hair, beard kind of patchy here and there. And as you kind of look over and catch that, he just kind of gives a nod.
Well, it would have been too much to ask that we would be able to actually have a moment alone. Don't look now, but we got friends here.
Any friend of yours should be an interesting encounter.
With friends like mine, who needs enemies, right?
Or anemones.
Torque.
That was the worst stretch today.
Torque is going to lean back in his seat with like one arm over the back of his like whatever chair he's on, and just kind of like let the boarding axe at his hip just show a bit more visibly.
Easy, easy. Last thing we need is to get into an altercation without our artillery.
I don't know what you're referring to. I am merely getting more comfortable.
Fair enough, my boyo. You know, Torque, it's nice that you've warmed up enough to have a full-on conversation.
Conversation is perhaps one thing I've fallen out of practice with.
Understandable. Spend enough time in enough bars and pubs around the docks, you learn to... You keep a good conversation going.
I'm afraid my tolerance for alcohol may have also atrophied somewhat. Otherwise, I likely wouldn't be so open, as it were.
Well, hey, you know, all it does is make you a bit more of yourself. Just like power.
I don't like myself much. Let's hope this feeling doesn't last.
Amen to that, brother.
Aw, Torque's just a big softie.
Orc will toast to that.
Take 2 more over here. Keep it coming.
4 more.
Yeah, that's the stuff. There we go. All right.
He's also 600 pounds, so he does need it's like 1 feet.
We're gonna sleep well tonight. Oh yes.
All right.
The whole while, Torg is just going to try and just keep Runix's friend in the corner of his peripheral vision.
And the night on the town wouldn't do us any harm.
Back in the tower, as the
creepy music
hours begin to draw on, and the manifestation of the ocean water in this center here, you can see the darkness that is thick in this water, and much as you had experienced when sailing upon the Sea of Souls, that there is just a wrongness to it. The water itself has become something else. There's an essence to it. And as this image begins to take on more of a solid form, without anything specific in the ritual that you catch that would indicate any cause for this, it begins to form into a sphere. And the sphere begins to darken further still until it is void of light, sucking in light. Even from the room around you, it seems that light is being pulled into this black sphere that is ever so slightly shifting and roiling. It's not a perfect solid sphere. It's a mass that seems to be moving, undulating every now and then as well. And as the spell begins to heighten, and you can feel, you know, your own connection to the weave, to the arcane, kind of being pulled from you and joining with that of Jornd and that of Ardell, and the 4 of you just kind of pouring into this. 2 eyes appear in this black sphere. 1 orange, 1 blue. And they move independent of each other at first, kind of just circling around, looking at each one of you, moving, taking in the surroundings. And then they come together and fixate, or become fixed in a specific spot on the sphere. And you feel this presence, a darkness, a void almost. There's a chill that seems to accompany this image. And you hear a voice. Hello. And the sphere just goes, and you feel a shockwave of pulsing black energy, and you can see it as it manifests in these black tentacles that shoot out of the sphere. Tentacles that look familiar. Shapes that you've seen coming out of bloated undead corpses, coming out of twisted pirates that had been malformed by whatever this entity is. I need both of you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Like good saves is what you're saying. All right.
I'm decent at this.
Wisdom save. Here we go.
And then he starts saying, "All right, now what I'd like you to do is add a number to your chart and label it as sanity score."
So that'd be a 5 total.
And I rolled a 12 plus my 4 for a total of 16.
16, okay. Go back to bed, Cthulhu. Dinar, with your little bit more practice with the arcane, there's just you kind of have that foresight to kind of almost like shutter your mind and close it off as you feel this pulse coming out. Flick, you're caught a little bit more off guard. Not familiar with this kind of thing. And so, Flick, you are going to take 16 points of psychic damage. Dinar, you take 8 points of psychic damage.
Oh. Relatively, they both took the same amount of damage.
As it kind of flicks out and these almost physically manifested tentacles, it kind of feels like a slap in the face, although it's internal, and you feel yourself physically knocked back as whatever this sphere is that just kind of pulses out in a wave of darkness, and the glyphs in the room kind of go off in a series, darkening one by one, and the room falls to silence around you. Lights kind of slowly come back on, and you hear Jorand, as you can see him now kind of sitting up on the other side of this. That was unpleasant.
Yeah, that was garbage, all right. Holy crap.
Did that thing strike out against you, Jorand?
It did. I have certain measures in place to protect my mind from outside forces, but that still hurt. Ardell, are you all right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bother.
There is no Ardell, only Zuhul.
Well, my friends, I believe that we just got mind slapped by a god.
I'm sorry, who?
By a what?
And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Oh. Yeah.
Mind slapped by a god.
Hey, man, if you can walk away from that.
I mean, let's take a dragon now.
Did you call that a god smack?
Oh, that sounds like
gobsmacked by that one.
That's for the carryover inspiration, I think.
Blobsmacked.
Oh man. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, that is where we will end our session, and we'll pick it up from there next time as the 2 friends in a tavern and 2 in a tower. 2 all around.
T for 2.
Another great game of towers and taverns.
There we go. Yes, coming soon to stores near you.
Yeah.
TNT, my favorite game.
All right.
You're
Well,
a
thank you
slippery
all.
one.
You're
You're a slippery one, Devin. I'm gonna get that backstory. Just you wait.
So many backstories to be had.
Yep.
You gotta expand him out though, right? A little bit here and there. Otherwise, it's.
Let him breathe. Yeah.
I mean, once a character's full backstory is revealed, then like that character has to die, and you have to come up with a new character, right? I think those are the rules.
You've obviously never read Game of Thrones.
You can't. I haven't actually. Well, I read part of it, but I know. But anyway, yeah. On that note, thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed what we have to offer, and you can find us on the Twitter, on YouTube. You can follow us and subscribe. We do post our VODs pretty soon after they get sent there, and you can catch it on there. You can catch up the audio on Podbean as well. Check out our link tree. Am I pointing the right way? That way?
No, you had it right. Yep.
That way,
there.
up there. Our link tree link, and that'll give you links to all of our social medias and all the different things there. So please, if you like what we do, follow us and tell your friends. And thank you for joining us on this journey. And we'll catch you next time. Bye, everybody.
See ya.